Alright, so, time for another comic review, and this was another book sent to me by my friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again, brother. And today we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 2, the long-awaited sequel, well, in trade anyway, of Godzilla vs. Power Rangers. The crossover that we thought we'd never get, and now not only did we get it, we got a sequel. But did the sequel, I don't know, hold up to the legacy of the first one? Because the first one delivered on so many levels. And also, before we go any further with said review, I do want to mention that, yes, I will be doing a more in-depth review with my friend Matt Denian once we touch base. So, you know, be prepared for a more in-depth review with Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 2. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about the story first. The story is that the multiverse is under attack by, and all the other Rangers are being captured and taken, their powers taken away by Rita and her new ally, Astronema. So the White Ranger of one universe travels to the main Power Ranger universe, and they, along with Godzilla, traverse the multiverse battling the new Psycho Kaiju Rangers, who are all now versions of the Psycho Rangers who are now, like, have Godzilla's Rogues Gallery as power. That's kind of the story on a whole. And yeah, this really should be called Power Rangers become Kaiju Rangers, and Godzilla is just there. Because this did the cardinal sin of crossovers. This basically did the cardinal sin of crossovers. You basically gave more love to one element more than the other. But multi, I hear you say. Godzilla was there. Godzilla was there. He and the other kaiju were Megazords. They were full ass like Megazords. Yeah. But Godzilla did nothing. He became like a Zord, and he was being controlled by the Power Rangers. So this became more of a Power Ranger story than it was a Godzilla story. And yes, you could make the argument that the first one was like that. You really could make the argument that the first story was like that, because yeah, Godzilla doesn't really talk, so yeah, you could argue that it was more Power Rangers than Godzilla. But look, here's the thing, Godzilla was there half the damn time. Godzilla was actually a part of the story. Like, he was constantly there. It wasn't like they forgot about Godzilla or just made him like a cool toy line. That's really what this is. They literally looked at the Turtle Ranger thing from the Power Rangers Ninja Turtle crossovers and basically went, we can do that with Kaiju Rangers. And don't get me wrong, the Kaiju Rangers and seeing Kaiju as Zords is really cool, but the fact of the matter is, this is not a Godzilla Power Ranger crossover. This is a Power Ranger story with Godzilla. Not only that, they're also, it basically feels like we're doing Shattered Grid all over again, but instead of Lord Draken, Lord Dracon, we're basically using Rita and Astronema. And a lot of the promo suggested that Space Godzilla was going to play a part in this. Yeah, that doesn't happen. He's the best we get of Space Godzilla is Psycho Space Godzilla. Psycho Ranger Space Godzilla. And that's it. Also, Jumpin' Jesus is the artwork awful. Freddie Williams III, I have my reserves about his Godzilla, but he is a phenomenal artist, and he did do the cover art in here. But Jumpin' Jesus, Baldemar Rivas, I apologize if I'm butchering the last name. Holy shit, was he not the guy for this book? Because half the damn time, I can't tell who's a character or what. Or I can't tell scaling, I can't tell what's going on. It's just a mishmash of colors and sketches, and also the facial expressions change from, like, especially for Rita, like, she becomes like a Dragon Ball Z or like an anime character who's angry. You know how they like go chibi for a second when they get angry or shout? They do that. There's also very little detail on the Zords. Like, look at this nonsense. Supposed to be way more detail on the Tiger Zord. Godzilla looks ass. The monsters are like, I don't complain a lot about art. I'm not I understand artwork, artwork's hard. I'm not an artist. But I also know artwork helps with the story. It can help accentuate the story or make it worse. I don't, I haven't stopped yelling about Greg Land and how the hell does he still have jobs? So, yeah, like there are points where like characters look good, like when it's like Goldar for some reason looks pretty good in this one scene, but then it immediately goes when there's a fighting pose, it's just garbage. There's no depth of scale. The background, like it just becomes like an empty background half the damn time. Yeah, the artwork really brings the I feel like I would have liked this better had the artwork been better. Like if Williams came back. And I did see him at MegaCon last week, so, and I even asked, like, why didn't you get the job for it? And he's like, well, scheduling issue and other things. So, if we get a third one, please get Freddie Williams back, because the artwork in here really brought down the story. Because I don't know half the damn time what the fuck I'm looking at. I feel bad shitting on people on their work, I really do, but, like, this was not the right combination for artwork, I'm sorry. And this feels more like this is going to sound so bad. This just feels like we made the Kaiju Rangers for the sole purpose of making these... Because we are getting some toys. We are getting, like, little keychains in April, which I do want to get, but, like, Godzilla just gets thrown to the wayside just so we can have merchandising. And I know that's kind of the core of everything, but, like, at least give us Godzilla, give us stuff with him. This is supposed to be his crossover as much as it was, the Power Rangers. It goes bigger, but does nothing with it. Like, that's the thing. Like, it really does feel like this comic wants to go bigger than the first book. But it does nothing. Like, it gives us Kaiju Rangers, and it doesn't do anything other than look how cool it is. At least in the Ninja Turtle Power Ranger crossover, they did stuff when, we got the Turtle Rangers, and then we got, the Rangers being ninjas and other things alongside it. Like, it meant something in those Power Ranger Ninja Turtle crossovers. And yes, I am still waiting for TMNT Power Rangers 3, thank you very much. Anyway, this was a step down. A big step down. The story's, the story is just okay at best, but it feels like we're just doing Ranger multiverse attacks. We're just doing Shattered Grid, but on a smaller scale. We get, Tommy from and White Ranger Tommy and Green Ranger Tommy meeting from different multiverses, and that's cool, I guess. But Godzilla, and again, I'm not saying this just as a Godzilla fan, but like a fan of crossovers and a fan of both these franchises, it really just feels like this became a Power Ranger story and Godzilla was thrown to the wayside. Just so we can have, cool robot toys. I really do hope we get a third one. I really, honest to God, hope we get a third Godzilla vs. Power Rangers. I hope Cullen Bunn, because I think he's good. I think he is good. And there are things I like in here, but the art, we need a better artist. Jesus God. And also, we can do Power Rangers again, but, like, please give Godzilla more screen time. Jesus. That's all I'm asking. So yeah, Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 2 was a massive step down, at least for me, for this comic. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 2? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.